Hi, so I'm Cassie Candles, and I wanted to show off my music production process in Linux. I feel like not a lot of people well, I haven't found really anybody who makes pop music in Linux. Um, and it's one of my favorite things, so I just want to show off my process. And yeah, so this is Jack. It's the audio engine, and pretty much all of the music making software and stuff runs through Jack. So Jack is where you set up the frame rate or whatever, the sample rate, the buffer size. And right now I've got it at kind of a high frame rate because I want to do a session breakdown of one of my songs, and I don't want it to overwhelm the processor. So a higher frame rate gives it more time to process all the stuff going on so that it doesn't crash. Yeah. But this is the connections. So like everything is connected. So like I'll open my DAW. I use Qtractor when I produce. Side note, a lot of people tell me that I should use Ardour because it has a lot more capabilities. Qtractor is kind of the Microsoft Paint of like if Logic is Photoshop, then Qtractor is like MS Paint. But I learned in Qtractor, and I will probably never go back. I love it. So let me open Qtractor, and we're gonna connect the output. So the output is connected to me. This is my headphones. But this is what you're listening to. Paul's audio is the system, like the internal computery sound, if that makes sense. It's kind of a lot going on, but yeah, this is Qtractor. I make all my music in Qtractor. There's not a whole lot of things going on. It's pretty simple, which is why I like it. Let me go up here actually, and let me remove this because this makes things complicated and I don't use it very often, but I'll explain it later probably. Yeah, so we've got a track. I don't know. I'll show off some plugins that I use. So most of my plugins don't have graphic interfaces. Most of them have just sliders, and you really have to like listen for what's going on. So my equalizer, this is my equalizer that I learned to equalize everything on, and it's really simple. It's like, let's monitor so you can hear what's going on. And let me actually, there we go. So yeah, everything is going through here. Normally I like take out the lows because I like having the bass like be uninterrupted by the other sounds. I often will do stuff like that, make it sound really airy and breathy and ethereal, and sometimes I give it more support. I raise. This sounds pretty weird right now outside of the context of a song, but yeah, that's my EQ that I use for everything. I'm gonna take it off, and then my compressor that I use for everything, calf compressor. So I want to say Qtractor is unlike other DAWs in that it doesn't have stock plugins, so every single plugin that I use has to be like outsourced, and all the samples as well. Qtractor is very bare bones. It doesn't even really come with metronome sounds. So all of the plugins are like downloaded from the internet. Well, in my OS that I use, my operating system, Ubuntu Studio, a lot of them are built in, but a lot of them I had to go out and do research and find myself. So a lot of them are built into the OS, and the Qtractor knows where to look for them. But a lot of people who use Qtractor don't have that experience. So my compressor, calf compressor, is one of the only ones that I use that has a graphic interface, which is really helpful because I feel like compressing would be really, well, I don't know, in hindsight, it seems like something that would be really not as intuitive to just listen for as EQ. But yeah, it's pretty simple. what's going. If you know what a compressor is, it just makes the lows a little quieter so that the quiets sound a little louder. I'm going to share some other like utilities and different plugins that I use. So something I use a lot lately is this really crazy compressor. It doesn't really do much with the top, like the highs, like the loud parts, I should say, but it really brings the quiet things up. And it's called Pop 2 because I think it's really good for pop music, which is what I generally make. It's not good for heartfelt, emotional folk music kind of stuff. But this is what Pop 2 sounds like. I love it. It's from Airwindows. Airwindows plugins are all free. All the plugins I use are free. But Airwindows are, they're so genius. I don't know. There's just so many beautiful ones that are, it's like this one guy that gets supported on Patreon by people who really believe in his work, and he makes a lot of beautiful things, and a lot of them that I use, and they're all supported by Linux and other, like they work on all platforms. But if you produce on Linux, I can't recommend Airwindows enough. So I don't know if you can really hear what's going on, but it's really just like a really crazy compressor, and you can really make it dramatic and wild. I'll be really loud and you won't hear it. I'll be really loud, and you can turn it into like a distortion. It's kind of fun. So I often have some level of that going on, in at least in some parts of my songs. I'll turn it off or on depending on what mood I'm in. Other plugins that I use a lot when I produce are Fathom 5, which is Airwindows again. But I use it on the bass in like just about every song. I won't say every bass is got Fathom 5 on it, but a lot of them, and it really controls the bass in a mix. It really like puts the EQ on it just right, and the dynamics, and it's really helpful just getting things balanced and like tucked in their little corners where they belong. It makes things sound. I'll just do it in my voice a little bit if you can hear it. This microphone doesn't have a lot of natural bass, so that's being added, or I guess I should say brought up dramatically by Fathom 5. Cool. Yeah, there's I have a lot of different reverbs that I use when I make music, because there's a lot of different feelings I try to go for and encompass and embody, and they're all made by different people, because if you have things that are too similar, you're not going to create a very immersive experience. So I'll share a couple of my favorites. Tap reverb, I really like the first setting. There's different ones you can go between, but it's really jittery and echoey, which I really like. There's some other ones I only really... Ooh, that one's good. I should use that one. I really like this, so I use it whenever I need a jittery reverb. There's also Dragonfly, which is really good. For a song I'm starting to build, I guess, or make, I don't know. I'm probably going to use Dragonfly Hall because I'm trying to make something really grandiose, but my favorite Dragonfly plugin is Plate. It sounds really nice and dramatic. I like things that sound like desolate, empty spaces. So there's that. There's Dragonfly Early Reflections, which is good. I don't use it a whole lot, but sometimes just here and there when I need it. It's really specific at what it does. It makes you sound like you're in a room. the Zita is like I think it's its own project, but it's wonderful. Yeah, I really, it's really smooth, and so I use it for a lot of things that I want to sound really smooth and big. And there's a couple other ones I won't get to. Well, I'll show off one that I think is really cool. This is an Airwindows reverb. It's called Galactic. I think I could really make a cool sound bath with this if I could get it to work with my DJ software, and I could do this like do an ecstatic dance set, and at the end just people could be swimming in vocal harmony because it takes things and stretches them like wait, that might be the wrong one. This is the one. Okay. I used. So you can hold the note forever, and it's really lovely. And you can, if you make it big, the note starts to fade and it takes in more audio information. So you can be like. That is Galactic. I really like it a lot. I think I want to go into a little session breakdown of one of my songs. Okay. So I'm going to reroute the audio so I can hear myself a little better. Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I need to do that. Okay. That stays. Okay, cool. And then we're looking for... Fuck. Oh no. Oh no, what happened? Okay. This is hilarious. So I opened this file last night and I guess I broke it. Okay, this is future Cassie. I'm editing and yeah, that song is gone for good that I was going to do a breakdown on. That's okay. I have a master already and it's already like being sent out and I don't need to access the session file. I think I'm going to do a breakdown of another track of mine in another video. I think this is probably good enough for one video, but thanks for watching. That's a little window into my producing in Linux. It's very technical and very intuitive and emotional, and yeah, cool. Thanks for being here.